So in the professional world, there is a definite difference between teaching and coaching, right? And so, or even training and coaching. Teaching and training are kind of words that are used interchangeable, and I believe that there's a little bit of a difference there personally. But the big thing is that what we do, okay, as calling coaching really is more teaching. You see, teaching is passing on knowledge. That's the definition of teaching, just passing on knowledge. It's that simple. All I'm trying to do is get information from my notes to their notes, right? So if I'm trying to teach them how to run a POS system, I'm telling them the facts of how to do that. If I'm telling them how to enter information into the CR system, I'm explaining how to do that, right? And sometimes I show how to do that, but oftentimes I leave it off to videos or reading or other types of things. And so in school system, as you were brought up, how do we know you learned something, right? Well, you learned because the teacher told you from their notes to your notes, and then you took a test to see if it was there. Well, we all know that information that's given to us within the first 24 hours, we lose about 50% of that information anyway. So really, it doesn't mean you learned anything. When I'm doing workshops, I often ask people, hey, tell me this. Who remembers the Pythagorean theorem? And I'll get some hands in the room, a lot of hands, more than I expect to, really. And then I'm like, okay, now we all had to diagram sentences. Who remembers the definition of a past perfect participle? Like, no hands. And I'm like, well, hang on. You guys all learned this, right? I know you learned it because you have high school diplomas. You're sitting in this room and you had to pass a test. You had to be taught that information in order to graduate. You see, you've heard me talk many times that learning is a change in behavior, right? It's not having the information, it's what do I do with that information. So let's go back to what's the difference between teaching and coaching, or training and coaching. That passing on knowledge, which is what that is. The difference is with coaching, I'm trying to pass on performance. I'm not just trying to get the information from my notes to their notes. I'm trying to get the information to touch their hearts and heads on the way there. Now, that's the way I kind of view that. Now, the big difference between teaching and coaching is I have to be able to do it. Let me restate that. With teaching, I can talk about it all day long, right? I can say this is how to make that sales call. I can say this is how to handle that situation, but can I actually do it? Can I pick up the phone and cold call somebody, right? Can I handle that disgruntled customer well? What can I do, right? And so they learn more from watching what you do. So in Great Sales Coaching, the new book that just came out, I talk about the 5-step process for coaching in there. And all 5 of those steps are really the transition between teaching and coaching, right? So it's a great framework. It's what we call GREAT, right? And so all 5 steps are meant to go from teaching and into coaching. And that's the difference, because coaching is where a change in behavior happens, with it. So I'm standing here today with Mr. Czar. Mr. Czar is, he's new into the rescue. Say hi, Mr. Czar, right? I know you're in the middle of eating. Nobody likes to be bothered while they're eating. I get it. Mr. Czar is, he's 2. He's giant for 2, right? So he's already 16 hands at 2. So he's going to be a very large, very big horse. And it's time to start his training, information we're going to be doing. So what's interesting here is that a lot of times we have ambassadors, which is what my wife calls the volunteers who work here. And they want to get in the ring and they want to do what she does. Now, she can tell them how to train that horse. She can tell them what to do the groundwork. But where does it really have the power happen is her ability to show them, for her ability to demonstrate that to them, see how that actually works, right? And so she can't do that if she doesn't know how to do that. So the difference between teaching and coaching really lies down in the fact that the person who is in front of the room, the person who is the manager, the leader of that employee that they're working with, they have to be able to do it. They have to be able to perform and not say, I used to do this. Look what my numbers were. This is how I got to where I am today, but be able to show that person what to do. Don't ever just tell somebody what to do. Don't ever just teach in that scenario, passing on that knowledge, right? After you've shown them, after you've taught them, what you need to do is you now need to demonstrate that for them. Show that you know how to do it, because watching you do it is where the power is and where the difference between teaching and coaching lies.